Okay, so here is my conspiracy theory regarding the trucking industry and society, American society overall. Recently, there has been a push to eliminate truck drivers who do not read, write, and speak English with high proficiency, which is going to take hundreds of thousands of truck drivers off the road just because they don't know English. And now the industry is also pushing for deeper and more extensive drug testing policies. Usually they were doing just a urine test, but now they are going for hair follicle testing as well, which goes further back into your biological history, if you will. And it's very curious that they want to do that because, yes, by all means, you don't want people who are drug addicts behind the wheel of a vehicle that weighs 80,000 pounds around the motoring public. We all want safety out here. But I think most people know that, if you did do drugs regularly, let's just say you regularly use cocaine or regularly smoke marijuana or something like that, even if you stopped for a week, it would still be in your system. You take a urine test and it'd still be in your system because that's what you've been doing for so long, because you're addicted to it, you have a habit. But let's just say you don't really partake that much. Every so often you smoke a joint or something like that, and you probably can wait 3 or 4 days and then have a urine test, and it won't come out in the urine test. Why? Because you really don't use it like that. But now with these new hair follicle testing, it allows doctors to reach back as far as 90 days to see if you've had any indiscretions in your life when it comes down to drugs. So, 90 days back. So let a female driver have a girls trip to Jamaica, and while she was out partying in her girls trip to Jamaica, she, does a bump of cocaine or smokes a joint or something like that. And then, has had a week off and comes back to work refreshed, and, she gets back to it and someone tests her, 90 days ago, you had an indiscretion, you're having some fun, you are not qualified to be a driver, and so essentially we're taking your license away and your inability to drive a truck because you're a drug addict. And yet you can be an alcoholic, virtually an alcoholic, and that's just fine. You could have just crawled out from under a whiskey bottle, and as long as you slept it off, you had so many hours since you put the bottle to your mouth and you kind of slept it off, and you could get back in that truck and get to work. You're gonna be sluggish and everything else, which is not good either, working with this equipment. But somehow you can do that and then come right back home or for that weekend or whatever and go on another bender and drink to excess, as long as you've had so many hours of not drinking and slept it off. But 90 days, you decide to have an indiscretion, you're the worst person in the world, you're out of here. You can't speak English, yeah, you're out of here. And so why would they do that? Eliminating hundreds of thousands of jobs. Well, I think this is a way to get American society to be accepting of autonomous trucks. Because right now, a lot of people are nervous about autonomous trucks because we don't trust vehicles that are not controlled by anybody, that's controlled by a computer, especially an 80,000 pound one. But if you put our selfish needs in the forefront, because hey, it used to take 2 to 3 days for you to get that package, or the grocery store is always stocked, but now you've eliminated all these truck drivers, and so now what happens? 2 to 3 days takes 2 to 3 weeks because there's a shortage of drivers, and now your small business can't get its supply of goods. Your local store can't get its supply of goods, and so now you have to wait, and it's creating an annoyance within our society, our consumable society. And so now, the government says, hey, one way around this, we can do these autonomous trucks. We can run those jokers 24 hours a day, and then you never have to worry about it. Now, maybe we'll accept that more because, hey, this 2 to 3 week backlog of shipments is really killing us. And so by creating a necessity, they fast track the ability to bring autonomous trucks online. And who does that help? Of course, the wealthy business owners who would love nothing more than to eliminate the employee, which has health insurance, inefficiencies, so forth and so on, for the benefit of bringing more money to the bottom line. That's why automation's here, AI is here, with the autonomous vehicles. You have Waymo, you have Uber. I think Tesla said they're 1 year away from bringing full autonomous cars to the street. They've already got autonomous trucks out here. They just kind of in a testing phase, but it's just part of the grander idea of automation and AI taking jobs away, which helps the bottom line of the wealthy, wealthy businessmen. And so, I don't believe this has anything to do with, making sure that people are safer. It's got to do with money. So that's my conspiracy theory. Let me know what you think. Not original idea, but that's what I was thinking about. So